Before the storm, Europe glittered, rich, proud, and blind to its fate. Empires stretched wide, chasing glory from African coasts to Asian lands. Power sat comfortably, believing war belonged to the past, not tomorrow. Alliances formed like chains, meant for safety, forged instead for war.
Industry fed ambition. Machines whispered promises of unstoppable might.
Discipline turned to pride, pride to hunger, hunger to a nation's obsession.
France smiled in memory of glory, dreaming revenge for lost honor.
Britain ruled the waves, but shadows of competition darkened her horizon. In the east, power felt eternal, yet cracks beneath the crown widened. Young hearts whispered freedom, their courage sharp as the knives they hid. One shot, one scream, one heartbeat, then silence swallowed the century whole.
The world's fuse was lit, not by armies, but by a boy with a dream.
Austria demanded vengeance, mistaking rage for justice, pride for strength.
Words became weapons, every signature a match, ready to burn nations alive.
The Kaiser saw destiny, not disaster, in the drums of approaching thunder. Russia stirred awake, summoning millions under banners painted with old pride. Alliances tightened like ropes, one pull, and all Europe gasped together.
They believed war would be short, over by Christmas, glorious and clean.
Farewells echoed victory, but heralded unseen graves.
They joked of medals, not mud and death's cold bed.
Crowds cheered for glory, blind to shadows beneath. Lines on maps became wounds. Alliances stitched men into opposing graves.
Speed was salvation. Crush France first, then turn east before Russia awakes.
They saw shapes in mist, not knowing empires marched toward their gates.
Steel moved like rivers. Belgium stood small yet unbroken before the storm.
Courage. Smet machines.
Across grey waters, the British Expeditionary Force sailed toward history's fire.
They sang of freedom, not knowing trenches waited, not parades or triumph.
The lights of Europe went out, and no one knew when they'd return. The plan was motion. Crush the West before the East could rise.
Here they come! Load faster!
Belgium bled, but each hour bought by sacrifice broke Germany's clock. The Schlieffen dream moved forward, beautiful on paper, brutal in flesh.
Every mile mattered. Every delay whispered of doom beneath the ticking guns.
Villages vanished overnight, swallowed by the thunder of advancing boots.
They charged with colours bright and hearts brave against machine gun smoke.
Old tactics met new weapons. Courage was no match for mechanized death.
The British arrived late, but their rifles spoke with grim precision.
At Mons they held the line, not for victory, but for honor's sake.
Speed became slaughter. Supply lines strained. Hunger outpaced glory.
Steel rails now carried sorrow, not soldiers, just echoes of unfinished dreams. The enemy was 30 miles away, and fear rang through empty streets. From the river's mist, salvation waited. France's last breath became a roar. The world watched the Marne, where destiny hung on courage and chance.
Two nations met as brothers, pushing back the machine that promised empire.
The hammer swung back. Schlieffen's dream cracked beneath its own weight. The war stopped moving, frozen in mud, death, and disbelief.
And so began a new kind of hell. Mud swallowed pride. Even generals forgot what victory once meant.
The earth itself groaned, torn apart by the weight of men and metal. They advanced by inches, traded blood for dirt that no one would keep.
Thunder answered thunder. The heavens themselves seemed to go to war. Poison kissed the wind. Invention turned science into silent murder.
At Ypres, the old world ended. Honor drowned in clouds of poison.
He measured time by deaths, not by clocks or calendars anymore.
From above, the front looked endless, like a wound refusing to close. Light revealed what dark had hidden: fear, fatigue, and fragile hope.
Just for a minute, it's almost like home. For seconds.
Winter buried the living with the dead. Only snow remembered their names. The war spread like infection, no continent untouched, no people spared its fever. Empires summoned the world to die for cases not their own.
One torpedo could erase 1,000 souls and vanish without a trace.
America entered late, promising to make the world safe for democracy. Fresh faces, bright eyes, unaware the old world awaited with open graves.
The machines had taken over. Progress had learned to kill efficiently.
The sky was no refuge. Heaven burned with men's ambition. In Russia, hunger and rage toppled a throne older than memory itself. Even the proudest crown trembled. Empires fell faster than their armies.
At the 11th hour, the guns fell silent, but not the grief. They looked at one another as strangers who had survived the impossible.
Let's pray vengeance doesn't linger between these lines.
Peace was written in ink, but vengeance lingered between every line.
They called it the Great War, but greatness died with those who fought it.
Time healed the land, not the memory. Silence grew where prayers once cried. They said it would end all wars, yet mankind still listens for the next gun.